I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love.
What's happening, everybody? It's your big homie, the Armchair Operator, and today I got another versus video for y'all. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put three of the biggest names in the handgun game up against one another and see which one of their flagship guns stands apart from the rest. So today we're going to put the venerable Glock 47 up against the Walther PDP Pro SD and the Springfield Armory Echelon. Now, I know first thing, some people are going to say that, you know, the Walther PDP Pro really shouldn't be in the mix between those two. It should be the actual PDP itself. And I understand that, but I only have the PDP Pro SD, and a lot of the same things will still apply with the standard PDP, with only about two real exceptions. Other than that, everything else pretty much is the same. And the Springfield Armory Echelon is the new hotness that everybody is hype about. You know what I mean? So we're just going to see how the three stack up against each other. So without further ado, let's take a look at today's contenders. All right, y'all, here we go. We have our three contenders here down on the table. And before we get started, y'all know the first thing we got to do, safety first, right? So let's check. All right, this firearm is showing clear. Magazine is empty. That firearm is clear. And this particular firearm has a chamber flag in it anyway, but we're going to pull it back just to verify that it's clear. And it is. Magazine is also clear. This firearm is clear. And last but not least, we got the Echelon here. The Echelon is showing clear. Magazine is clear. This firearm is empty. And we are in a safe and controlled environment there. So now that we have that established, if you're not familiar with my versus videos, they're pretty much going to go a little something like this. So essentially, we're going to go through a bunch of different categories and compare each gun to each other, basically in terms of form, fit, and function, and just to see which gun comes out on top. So the categories we're going to talk about are features, accessories, ammo capacity, ergonomics, portability and concealability, shootability and reliability, disassembly for maintenance, aftermarket support, MSRP, and the value for the money. Now, just real quick, see, features is a nuanced subject in and of itself, so we're going to go through the features really quickly and just kind of tally up all of the features as a whole to see which particular firearm is going to win that category outright. So that one's probably going to be the most time-consuming part of it, but the rest of it we should pretty much get through really quickly. And the last thing I want to mention is that when it comes to ammo capacity, I basically talk about, out of all the magazines that comes with the gun from the factory, what's the total round count you can have on your person. So you may very well have a situation where one firearm may have a 20-round mag, and you know they may have two 20-round mags, for example, and one firearm may have three 15-round mags, for example. So do the math. Whichever one that has the most at the end of the day is going to win. So enough about that. Let's start talking about the features of these three firearms. All right, y'all, features. But real quick, there's one hell of a storm that's going on in my area today, so I do apologize for the background noise. So you're going to hear probably throughout the video a lot of wind and a lot of rain going on. So I can't control Mother Nature, so I definitely apologize for that. Now, let's get into these features. So when talking about the features, y'all know where I like to start. I like to start with the sights. And basically, let's look at the sights of the three. Now, the first thing I'm going to say right off the rip, as you can see, the sights on the Glock 47 are not stock. These are actually Trijicon XR suppressor height night sights. Now, just keep in mind when we're talking about the sights, we're basically talking about an out-of-the-box comparison between the three. So if you're at a gun store and you're looking to purchase any one of these guns new, you know, think of it as what it has out of the box. So we're just going to pretend that the Glock has its standard Glock sights out of the box, which I'm sure we are all familiar with. That being said, the PDPs, the sights on the PDP are also polymer, but they're basically just, you know, your standard 3-dot white sights. It is nice that this model has the rear sight is adjustable for, I believe this is adjustable for windage. I'm not 100% sure, but this sight is adjustable here. But they're just your basic standard 3-dot white sights, right? Now, on the other hand, the Echelon, they're actually, oh boy, they're actually two flavors of the Echelon, right? So, you know, the Echelon has the tritium glow front sight and the U-notch rear, and then you have this particular model that has the tritium glow front and also the two tritium fill dots in the rear sight is what I'm trying to say, the night sights. So just looking at the sights between these three guns, I think it's pretty obvious out of the box the Echelon is going to win that. So the Echelon is going to take the sights category. Now when it comes to the slide serrations, the Glock has, they all have front and rear slide serrations. Let me just get that out there. The Glock, the slide serrations up here really aren't very aggressive. Now, in terms of both the PDP and the Echelon, both of these are very aggressive slide serrations, which I like a lot, and they're aggressive both in the front and the back. And what I like about the Echelon is that you got these little ledges here where you can grab it here or you can grab it back here. So, I mean, really, when it comes to slide texturing, I would say the Glock is the clear loser between the three. But I'm going to give the serrations a tie between the PDP and the Echelon because honestly, to me at least, there's no clear winner between those two in terms of slide serrations. Now, let's talk about the accessory rail. Well, obviously, all three guns have an accessory rail. We got the Glock universal rail here, and we got the M1913 Picatinny rails on both the PDP and the Echelon. I mean, is one any more superior than the other? I guess one could say you would have better accessory compatibility with the M1913 Picatinny rails, but at the same token, there are a lot of manufacturers that make the rail adapters for the Glock universal sights. I mean, universal rail. So honestly, I don't really see no real advantage here. So I'm just going to call that a wash between the three. Now let's talk about ambidextrousness. Ambidextrousness, right? Okay, sorry. So really, when it comes to both the PDP and the Glock, they are partially ambidextrous. What I mean by that is basically like you got ambi slide catch right here, slide catch, slide release on both sides, but you don't have an ambi safety. Now this safety is reversible as well as the safety on the PDP. The PDP and the Glock are pretty much in the same boat when in terms of the slide catch, slide release, and the safety. The Echelon, on the other hand, is fully ambi because you got slide stops on both sides, plus you got an ambi mag release, so you don't have to reverse that at all. So when it comes to that point, got to go to the Echelon as far as the ambidextrousness. Now, when it comes to the trigger, here's the thing. Honestly, no matter how you look at it, the PDP has a better trigger than both of these guns, hands down. Whether you're talking about the standard PDP, which I have shot the standard PDP, so I am familiar with that trigger. That's still a great trigger. But the PDP Pro SD with the Walther's Performance Duty trigger, it's just no comparison. I'm just going to ghost this trigger for y'all real quick. I know we verified clear, but I just want to do it again. But I'm gonna show this to you. So check that out, right? That little bit of take up right there, right? And then break. Yep. And the reset. Look at that. Now, just for comparison's sake, let's do the Glock. Now, this is a Gen 5 platform, in case y'all didn't know, the Glock 47. So we looking at that. Look, that's the take up. That's the take up. And then there you go. And the reset. Quite a bit longer than the PDP Pro, which did not come as a surprise to anyone. And then we got the Echelon here. All right. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and say the Echelon does not have a bad trigger at all. It really doesn't. See, there's the take up. It's a little softer than the 3. Break is a little harder in my opinion, but it's not a bad break. Reset is good. So, all in all, I think it's pretty much hands down. The PDP definitely takes the trigger category. Now, let's talk about the optics. Now, first of all, let's talk about my definition between optics ready. My definition of optics ready is that can you slap an optic on this gun out of the box? So I like to differentiate between optics cut and optics ready. That being said, the Glock is optics ready out of the box. You not only have the cut, but they also give you a plate for the Glock MOS system. So this is fully optics ready. The Springfield Armory Echelon is also fully optics ready with their proprietary optics mounting system where you don't even need a plate. So you could slap a optic on this bad boy right out of the box. You don't need to order no more parts or anything like that. You're good to go. The PDP, on the other hand, is not fully optics ready in my opinion. I will call this partially optics ready because it has an optics cut, but you have to get the plate from Walther. And not only that, you got to make sure that you get the plate for your generation of the PDP. Now, if you don't know what I mean by that, it's simply this. You have both a Gen 1 and a Gen 2 style of PDP. If you take this optics plate off, and if underneath where the slide is, if it's completely smooth, then you got a Gen 1. If you see additional recoil bosses milled into the slide when you take that cover plate off, then you have a Gen 2. So if you got yourself a PDP, whether you bought a used or new or whatever, just make sure you verify which version of the PDP that you have before you get that plate. All in all, optics ready. Like I already said, between the Glock and the Echelon, they take that. And let's talk about the barrel's pretty straightforward. This is the only one that has a threaded barrel out of the 3 because it's the Pro model. So, I mean, I guess that's not very fair, but at the same token, you know, it's a thing. It does have that advantage over the 3. So you could put a suppressor on it. You could put a comp on it. A lot of people comp their PDP Pros, so it does take the edge in that category. And lastly, when it comes to features, let's talk about the modularity. So there is a certain amount of degree of modularity between all 3 of these guns. As you know, the Glock 47 is modular in that you can put this Glock 47 slide on a Glock 19 frame and essentially create a Glock 49, which is basically a long side gun with a compact grip. Or you could throw a Glock 19 slide on this frame and basically make this a Glock 45. I think I did that in my Glock 47 review video, so if you want to see me do that, just take a look on my channel, look that up. I did do that in that video, so that way you can see what it looks like for yourself. Now the PDP actually has a bit of modularity too, beyond the fact some models of the PDP actually have a pro-length slide and barrel with a compact grip. You also have a full-length slide and barrel with a compact grip, and I think you also have the reverse, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I think you do though. But the thing about the modularity between these 2 guns, in order for it to work, you actually have to have a whole different gun in order for you to take advantage of the modularity between these 2. Where the Echelon, on the other hand, blows them completely out of the water with their central operating group, or their COG. So you can basically pull that COG out, and since that's the serialized part of the gun, drop that in another grip module, and keep it pushing. Now I say that to say I basically did that with my Echelon here. So this is actually the grip module that comes with the Echelon out of the box. This is the medium grip module. So I upgraded to the larger grip module because, like I said, I like the feel of the larger grip, and I also like the more aggressive texture. So this right here is a game changer for me in terms of how it feels in my hands. But the point of the matter is the modularity of this particular gun is just superior than the other 2. So I have to give the modularity over to the Echelon. And now with all that being said, the Echelon is going to win the point for the features category, simply put, because if you add all of them up, the Echelon just wins out. All right, so with that being said, let's move on to the next category and let's talk about the accessories. All right, y'all, so let's talk about accessories right quick. So I basically have all of the accessories that each gun comes with laid out on the table here for the most part. Now, let's start with the PDP. Now, the PDP, there's actually one accessory missing with the PDP, and basically that's it right here, the magazine well. The magazine well is not installed on the gun when you first get it. So I just wanted to point that out, that this is an additional accessory that comes with the PDP. Now, over here, we have, it comes with 3 different back straps. I got the largest one on the gun. These are the other 2. These are nice in texture, and they are rubberized. They're kind of like a hard rubber. So we have that. We have a rear adjustment tool here and a small Allen wrench. I would imagine for installing an optic, but they don't give you an optics plate, but they give you a tool to take off the cover. Don't get the thinking there, but anyway, you got it. And we have our magazine mag loader from Walther. Nice little texture, you know, it's cool. And we have an additional recoil spring. It's a heavier recoil spring, and this is to be used if you're running the gun suppressed. Now, the recoil spring here is also polymer. I mean, not the recoil spring, I'm sorry. The guide rod itself is polymer, just like the one that's in the gun when you first get it. So, but anyway, in case you wanted to know, it is a polymer guide rod by default. Now, moving to the Echelon. Echelon comes with 3 different back straps here. There's an extra back strap in here, and the main reason for that is I just threw an extra one in with the extra 2 here. When you get another grip module, they give you 3 additional back straps. So that's why you see more back straps in this view here than you would normally see. But suffice to say, they give you 3 back straps from the door. You also get, all 3 of them come with a cable lock, by the way. But you also get these 2 different pin sets here for mounting your optics. So pin set 1 is installed on the gun when you first get it. That's the pin set for the RMR footprint. This is pin set 2 for the Delta Point Pro /E-Flex /SIG pistol optics, whatever. This is pin set 3. This is for your Shield RMS pattern micro optics. So that's what this is. And you also get a +3 magazine extension with the gun. Since I already have that installed on the other magazine that came with the gun, this is just the extra base plate for that 17 round magazine. So I just figured I would put that in here as my stand-in. And finally, with the Glock, we got the Glock MOS plate. And they give you an Allen key and a couple screws to mount your optic. I believe at one point they gave you more plates from the factory, but mine only came with this particular one. This is the one for the Trichicon footprint. We also get the 2 grip extensions that come with the beaver tail. You saw one on the gun. This is the other one. This is the standard pin that's installed in the factory, from the factory, because it doesn't come with the grip installed, the back strap, excuse me. And this is just a little tool for driving that pin out. And lastly, we have our basic Glock magazine loader. So that's what that is. All in all, when it comes to the accessories, I'm going to give the point over to the Echelon. Reason being, the Echelon's optics mounting system is just superior. Period, point blank, in the story. I think that all things being equal, that sets it apart from the other 2, because the other 2 have additional back straps and things like that. They have cable locks. They even all have magazine loaders, and so on and so forth. So what sets them apart? And to me, I feel like it's the optics mounting system. So all in all, the point for accessories is going to go to the Echelon. Now, let's head on over to ammo capacity and let's talk about that. Okay, so now we're going to talk about ammo capacity. So, both the Glock and the PDP come with 3 magazines out of the box. The Echelon only comes with 2. Now, the PDP comes with the 3 18-round magazines. The Glock comes with the 3 17-round magazines. And the Echelon comes with a 17-rounder And actually, it comes with two 17. I mean, it comes with two 17 rounders. But if you install the extension, which basically this is the extension, the magazine extension, that turns this 17 rounder into a 21 rounder. Now, just so you know, yes, I have loaded this thing up to 21 rounds and shot it with no problem. Some people say it's 20 or whatever the case may be. I recently just did this, so this is a 21 round magazine in my book. Anyway. Moving on from there, this is just a simple by the numbers thing. So the PDP, you can carry 54 rounds total with the PDP, 51 rounds total with the Glock 47, and a mere 37 rounds with the Echelon out of the box. So that gives the clear winner over to the ammo capacity to the Walther PDP. Now, just want to say this real fast. These magazines, the tan magazines with the Glock 47 doesn't come with tan magazines. It comes with 3 standard black ones. But I don't know what I did with the other magazines. I think they're probably in my safe, loaded, whatever the case may be. I'm somewhere. They're just somewhere out of the picture here. So these are the stand-ins. But just suffice it to say that the Glock 47 comes with 3 17-round magazines. And the PDP gets the point for the ammo capacity category because it can carry more than the other 3. Now that that's all out of the way, we're going to move on to the next category, which is ergonomics. Okay, so in terms of ergonomics between the 3, I mean, all 3 of these guns pretty much feel pretty decent in the hands. Whether you're talking about my PDP here, the Glock with the beaver tail extension. I need that little extra just to keep the slide from scraping me from time to time because I got these big old fat hands. And, the Echelon. The Echelon out of the box has really good ergonomics, especially with these thumb ledges, right? And now with the enhanced grip module, I won't say enhanced, the larger grip module, this gun feels a lot better in my dominant shooting hand. With the standard grip module, it's okay, but it's not the greatest. But either way you look at it, in my opinion, ergonomically, I give it over to the PDP. Because this grip just feels the best in hand. And then plus, I like that this has a pronounced undercut in here. So it has a nice natural beaver tail. And then plus you have that extra bit of support here from this rubberized backstrap. Now, in fairness, the PDP could use more texturing right here along the side of the frame here. This polymer frame is really smooth, and sometimes if I go to shoot this gun enough, the disassembly button here tends to rub on my thumb, and it gives me a bit of an uncomfortable callus. But I mean, I would still pick this over the Echelon, even with this grip as far as ergonomics, just mainly because of this. This particular part, what I've noticed, because the Echelon, I can feel the mass reciprocate more with the Echelon, especially if I'm really holding a gun. My hand can't really get up underneath there as much as I would like versus the PDP, where it's just natural. So this just feels more comfortable for me to get a nice solid 2-hand grip on. And the Glock, honestly, I mean, between Glock knuckle and without this, I mean, ergonomically, it never really spoke to me all that well. But either way you look at it, ergonomics goes to the Walther PDP. Now let's talk about both the category of portability and concealability. Alright, so in terms of portability, I basically like to keep it pretty simple. Which gun is the lightest out of the 3? Fully loaded. Because portability simply means this. It's going to be the gun that you might be carrying around all day, whether you're talking about duty, whether you're talking about concealed carry, whether you're talking about competition, whatever the case may be, right? So essentially, here are I loaded each particular gun fully loaded. I weighed each gun with a fully loaded magazine. And my numbers were simply this. The PDP Pro fully loaded clocked in at 43.28 ounces. The Springfield Armory Echelon clocked in at 44.27 ounces. And the Glock 47 clocked in at 40.46 ounces. So just based on the numbers alone, the Glock was going to win the category as far as portability because it's the lightest out of the three when it's fully loaded. So when talking about concealability, I mean, honestly, it's really going to come down between the Glock and the Echelon, mainly because the PDP Pro has that threaded barrel. And the slide on the PDP itself is just a little bit thicker than the other two. But like I said, as far as the PDP Pro, really it's that barrel. That's going to knock that out as far as concealability. So if you're looking at the Echelon and the Glock, truth be told, there really is no clear winner here, like in terms of grip length, in terms of slide length, barrel thickness, and how it conceals on the person. So honestly, it's basically a tie between the Glock and the Springfield Echelon in that category. So, I mean, as far as portability and concealability, the point will go to, well, as far as portability, Glock will get the point for that. And as far as concealability, both the Glock and the Echelon will get a point for that. And the PDP Pro will not get a point in either category. All right, so let's head on over to shootability and reliability. All right, so when talking about shootability and reliability, let me just say right off the hop that all three of these firearms have been very reliable for me throughout my testing and about my reviews. I haven't had any reliability issues with either gun. So let me just say that from the rip. So they'll all get a point for reliability. Now, what separates them apart is the shootability part. And essentially what I did was when I went out to the range, and I'll put the target result up there on the screen so that way you can see it. Basically, I just put a target out at 5 yards, and I ran one magazine through each gun, and with the idea of getting the tightest group out of the three. So if you look at the image, I mean, the results kind of speaks for themselves. You know, the PDP had the tightest groups out of all three. Now, don't get me wrong, the groups really with the Glock and the Echelon weren't bad. And I mean, the Echelon was better than the Glock, but I mean, there were way more keyholing with the PDP Pro SD. And honestly, I attribute that to both the superior ergonomics and the trigger in that PDP Pro. That performance duty trigger is something else. So overall, when it comes to reliability, each gun will get a point in that category because they've all been reliable for me. And when it comes to shootability, the Walther PDP Pro stands out as, you know, the most shootable gun out of the three. So that's pretty much it for that category. And from there, let's just head on over to the disassembly for maintenance. All right, so for the disassembly for maintenance part, honestly, each one of these guns are very easy to break down. The PDP and the Glock are very similar. As you can see, we got the little takedown buttons here for the Glock, and we all know how to go about that. I don't want to run afoul with YouTube guidelines, so I'm not going to show that here, but it's your basic standard Glock fare. You know, pull the slide back about 1/4 of an inch, pull that down, pull the trigger, let the slide go forward, and take it right off the gun. The PDP Pro is very similar. The only difference is when you wait to take the barrel out, you got to take the thread protector off the barrel to get the barrel out of the slide. But all in all, I give the disassembly for maintenance over to the Springfield Armory Echelon here simply because it uses the takedown lever system that you see common on a lot of guns like your SIGs, your Berettas, and so on and so forth. And in my opinion, this is a superior system, especially as if the gun gets a lot of dirt in it or debris, sand or rocks or whatever the case may be. If you get anything up under in this frame, it's a lot easier to rotate that takedown lever down versus dealing with one of these buttons. And if anybody that have had any of these guns for any length of time will tell you, if you get crap up underneath of these takedown buttons, good luck getting that mess out. So all in all, I got to give it over to the Echelon with the takedown lever system. And with that out of the way, let's talk about aftermarket support. And really, aftermarket support is pretty simple. Glock is going to win that. Glock is going to get the point hands down. Glock is probably the most aftermarket supported polymer frame striker fire handgun in the world. Like, you need a part for a Glock, you'll pretty much find it anywhere. So Glock gets the point for the aftermarket support. And now, as far as the MSRP goes, Glock actually gets the MSRP out of the three as well, because between the three, the Glock is the cheapest. I think the Glock clocks in at about $620 USD for the Glock 47. Now, this version of the Echelon ran me about, I want to say, $659-ish, because I have the night sights. But the U-Knot sight, I believe, is like $30 cheaper when this gun first came out. And the PDP Pro, this particular gun ran me, I think out the door was like a little over $800. So, now mind you, with the PDP Pro, you're getting the performance duty trigger, you're getting the magwell, you're getting the threaded barrel, and so on and so forth. So you're getting a little bit more with the PDP Pro SD versus the standard PDP full size or something like that. So, but point is, this is the most expensive gun out of the three. This is the cheapest gun out of the three. So Glock is going to win the MSRP category, and it gets the point there. Now, let's move on to the value for the money. Okay, and the last category we're going to talk about is the value for the money. And really, when it comes to the value for the money, I take into consideration basically what you get with the gun for the particular price point. Now, out of the three guns, you know, first of all, I'm just going to say I like them. I like all three. I really like and enjoy all three. And what are you getting for the price point? Now, first of all, let's talk about the PDP real quick. Now, with the PDP is the most expensive out of the three, right? And you're getting the best trigger out of the box. You're getting a threaded barrel. You're getting, you know, magazine well. Like, you're getting a lot of additional accoutrements and everything like that versus kind of the other two. But you're also spending a significant amount of money more to get in on the PDP Pro versus these two. Now, that's not to say you're not getting a lot of value with the PDP Pro, but at the same time, like, as far as the value proposition goes, I mean, you're getting what you pay for, because the PDP Pro SD, the performance duty trigger itself, I think is like $150. So it's just kind of like, you know, like, as far as value goes, like, there's value in there, but like, I don't think that, like, I think it's pretty much on par with the price point is what I'm trying to get at for that particular gun. The Glock 47 is a Glock 47. Plain Jane Glock 47 is. Now, it would have been a different story if the Glock 47 came with those suppressor height night sights and it would still cost the same amount of money, $620-ish, roughly. But being as though it doesn't, and it just comes with the standard Glock sights, it's a standard Glock. So a Glock is a Glock. You're basically buying into the Glock for the Glock, you know. In other words, I don't see any clear advantage there as far as the value for the money. That brings me to the Echelon itself. Now, the Echelon just is the most versatile gun out of the three, in my opinion, because of its superior modularity and its superior optics mounting system. Plus, also, what I didn't know when I was talking about the barrels, the Echelon comes with a cold hammer forged barrel. Now, you might care about that. You might not care about that. Most people are not going to shoot out the rifling of the barrel itself to even worry about it. So whether that's an advantage in a pistol or not is up for debate. But it is cool that they give you a cold hammer forged barrel in a pistol. So I got to give it that. So, and not only that, the gun is just solid all the way around. Like, it's a solid platform. It's ergonomic. You know, it has a decent trigger. It's not the greatest trigger, but it's a decent trigger. It has really good sights. You can co-witness with your optics when you mount your optics, and they don't charge an arm and 3 or 4 legs for the Echelon. I think the Echelon is priced pretty well, and you do get a fair bit of versatility and performance for the gun at its given price point. So, with all that being said about the value for the money, I'm going to give the point to the Springfield Armory Echelon for the value for the money. And now that we've basically gone through all the categories, let's tally everything up. All right, so to recap, the features category goes to the Springfield Armory Echelon, as well as the accessories. Ammo capacity, that point goes to the Walther PDP Pro, and the PDP Pro also takes it in ergonomics. Now, in terms of portability and concealability, the Glock 47 gets a point for both of those categories, while the PDP Pro doesn't get a point in either category, and the Springfield Armory Echelon gets a point in concealability because it basically ties with the Glock. But the Glock is the lightest out of the three, therefore it gets the point in the portability aspect of it. Now, in terms of shootability and reliability, all three guns get a point because all three guns have been reliable for me throughout my testing. Now, in terms of shootability, the PDP Pro gets the point there simply because it has the tightest grouping at the 5-yard target out of the three. Now, when it comes to disassembly for maintenance or field stripping, the Echelon gets the point there simply because of the takedown lever system. And to me, it's just better than the system that the Glock and the Walther uses. The point for the aftermarket support goes to the Glock for obvious reasons. It's the most supported polymer frame striker fire gun out there. And the Glock also takes the MSRP category simply because it's the cheapest out of the three. And that brings me now to the value for the money, where I just believe that the Echelon just gives you more for the price point, especially versus the other two guns in this versus. Which brings us to the final score of the Glock 47 with 5 points, the Walther PDP Pro SD 4 points, and the Springfield Armory Echelon the winner with 6 points. All right, and we're back, y'all. So the winner of this versus is the Echelon, and I gotta say, I'm not really surprised by that. Being as though I've had all three guns for a while now, I got a chance to really get familiar with the three. I've put a lot of rounds down range through the three, especially the Echelon. I actually probably have more rounds through that than the other two. I think, I'm not 100% sure. But, I mean, honestly, I think it was a good comparison, a pretty fair comparison. So, I mean, the Echelon takes it, and I'm not upset at that. So, this is going to be a new part of my versus videos. We're going to call this part the operator's choice. What is armchair operator, if he got to pick between the three, the only one to use, which one would he pick? So I'm going to pause for a second to let y'all guess. Let me see if y'all can figure out which one I would pick. So I'm just going to wait. Drop it in the comments too if you got it real quick. Figured it out yet? All right, so listen, if you chose the Springfield Armory Echelon as the operator's pick, you are wrong. Not the Echelon. The operator would actually pick the PDP Pro SD. Why the PDP Pro SD? Well, 2 reasons. Shootability. 1, and ergonomics. Because on the range, running this particular gun here, like, I like how it feels in the hand, and with that performance duty trigger, it's just so easy to make accurate and quick follow-up shots because this trigger is just so darn light, right? And then when you go to draw and to present, it just presents so naturally in the hand, like I could just get up in there with the quickness. So, I mean, this gun for me, even though it could use more texture right here on the frame, even though it needs more texture there, in my opinion, I still feel like this is the gun that's most enjoyable to shoot. And being as though all things being equal and all the guns have been reliable, I would have no problem with either competing with this gun, you know, carrying this as a duty gun, a home defense gun. I've even concealed carried this gun at some points. But all in all, if I had to pick one out of the three, I would go with the Walther PDP Pro. But Now, enough about what I would do. What would you do? Leave it down there in the comments and let me know, out of these 3 guns, which one would you pick and why? There are no wrong answers in my opinion, because everybody's entitled to their opinion and their preference. So definitely let me know what you think. All I ask is that please be respectful with the comments of other people, because we all have our own opinions and viewpoints and different things. So, let's just rap a taste about these beautiful things that we all enjoy. So with all that being said, everybody, we didn't finally come to the end of another one. So I gotta thank you all. Thank you so much for taking the time to spend this time with me, to listen to a guy on the internet talk crap about firearms. I hope I kept you entertained. I hope I kept you all informed, and ultimately I hope you come back. So if you enjoyed today's video, please let me know by smashing that like button, leaving me a comment, subscribing to the channel. All those things helps my channel grow tremendously, and it helps me to grow this family that I'm trying to bring together here, all of us. It all starts with each one of us. So definitely thank you all for that. And thank you for my A1s, my day ones, my new subscribers. Everybody, for helping me to get over that 1,000 subscriber mark. I really, really do appreciate it. And I'm chasing the next goal, you know what I mean? So if I could hit 5,000 subscribers before the end of the year, that would be great. Now, I know that's a tall order, but I definitely think it is doable with y'all support. But anyway, enough talking. Thank you all so much for stopping by, watching this video. And this is your big homie, and I'm out. Peace.